as well. But the big thing we got to talk about, at least the big thing I wanted to talk about tonight, was do the Cardinals have an issue with Nolan Gorman? He hasn't been hitting. He has not hit very well in June, but apparently, from the looks of it, this is a common thing for Nolan Gorman that he doesn't hit very well in June. Do you think it's a problem, James?
I think it's a big problem. You need him to. I guess what drives me crazy is every time they say like, well, it's like when they always say Paul Goldschmidt, like, well, Goldschmidt's always a good player when it gets warm. Like, you play a summer sport, for the love of God, people. Right. It shouldn't matter. And the same thing with Gorman, like, oh, I can't hit in June. Well, right now you're not hitting in July either. Like, he's such a, he's literally like, the Ricky Bobby of this team, where it's either he hits a home run or he doesn't hit at all. It's one or the other. Big home run or just break his bat. Like, when you're under 200, you're literally batting under 200. That's the Mendoza line. That's the one where, that's the one where everyone says, like, man, you don't want to be under that.
Yeah.
But they're still putting him out there every day. Like, something has got to give. I think there's a huge issue with him. I think he is not producing for this team. They need him to produce. And they need, because you're not getting enough from Goldschmidt. You're not getting enough from Arenado.
Yep.
Alec Burleson to some extent, Wilson Contreras, before he got hurt, has been the only people on this team, the only guys on this team that have contributed substantially. And, I'm shocked to say this, but if it wasn't for the pitching, there's no way we'd be competing where we are right now. Right. So the pitching has literally saved this team. So Gorman is, yes, there's an issue with Gorman, but really it's the story of this whole team. The offense just is not producing the way they need to. And again, this is a cry for help. They got to do something.
Yeah, it's not looking to me. It's like I just mentioned, he's batting a 2 or a 189. He went 0 for 4 in tonight's game as well. So it's not like he's exceeding expectations outside of his one home run yesterday. Because, his last, I'm trying to pull up some more stats and stuff on him here. At least over like the last few games. So again, 0 for 4 tonight. He went 2 for 4 last night. He had a big grand slam to help the Cardinals move on, or help not the Cardinals move on, but help get a big win in Pittsburgh last night. Game before that against Cincinnati is 0 for 4. Game before that, it's 1 for 3, 0 for 3, 0 for 1, 0 for 2, 0 for 3, 1 for 4, 0 for 4. Rough season.
And this season. Yeah. And just watching the way he approaches his bats, they're it's literally like, I'm just going to swing it, whatever. Like, there is no, it's like there's no thought process, no anything to change up. Like, it's a bad situation, and he's got to figure out what he's doing. He's got to figure this out a little better, or the team's got to move on from him in some way. But again, you've got so many guys injured, which is also the hard part. Right. But you're gonna get Edman hopefully back soon. Who else is coming back from that?
Lars Nootbaar before. There's a possibility he comes back before the end of the road trip.
Okay, good.
But more than likely it'll be when they come back to St. Louis.
Yeah.
And they make their trip back home for their whatever week it is next week.
Right. So.
Yeah, I think adding Nootbaar there, brings back, and even Tommy Edman. I think Tommy Edman is the big factor here. If Tommy Edman comes in off the IL, and produces and is that guy, you got to move him to the second base spot. Fortunately, figure out what's going on with Gorman, or move on from him. One of the two. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it at this point. It's what you get. It's business. You're not gonna keep your business going necessarily if you have a guy who's not producing the way you need to. So, it does suck though, because Nolan Gorman is supposed to be the next big thing for the Cardinals. So it sucks to see him have the struggles that he is having. So hopefully it's something that maybe he can turn things around. Maybe he can figure out his swing, figure out the bats, figure out something to turn his season around. It has to at this point. If not, he's not going to be on the team.